this was really interesting. So I loved what you did with the AI.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
But I also felt you underutilized the AI.
Because I wanted to stick to what I was asked to do rather than there were so many variations I could do. There were so many options, but I had to stick to some idea or some matrix that I was working for.
Right.
For
So
example,
actually, let me correct that, right? I like two things that you did. Okay. The first one was you tried to use the AI, but you did not use it fully. Okay. This could have reduced your work by half. Okay. And I'll tell you where you could have applied AI.
yes.
Then the second aspect that you also did was I loved how you put Aadhaar and PAN in the beginning. The natural instinct for most people is enter your personal information. Right?
True.
But what you did was you just said, I need your Aadhaar and PAN, and that's all I need. And that actually completely changed the game for you.
Yes, because if that is incorrect, then everything else is futile.
Right. And I love that. But now when you're thinking about the AI, okay, what you should have done on here, okay? So you created a table as to why the bank would use it and all that stuff, right? So did you do that manually or did you use an AI to do that?
No, manually, of course. Because
No,
it was 2 months back. And that time I didn't know how to utilize ChatGPT. We are having all our sessions currently. I could have done it. This was a recent project, yes.
Awesome. So what you could have done is, and again, this is what I would tell a lot of people, if you have a task that is a form design task, these are simple things you need to do with an AI. Okay. And again, going forward, we are going to be focused on AI collaborative design, right? How do you use AI tools? Because productivity is the name of the game when you get into the industry today.
Right, true.
Okay. So ideally, what I would have loved for you to do is, okay, you've done this and you say, okay, so while digitizing the account, how can you reduce the cost savings? So you want to ask the next level of question. How can you reduce the cost savings when digitizing the account opening form? Ask that second level question. Okay. How can you improve customer service when opening? How can you? So for each of these points, ask the question back. So you'll get some different ideas on how to solve it or different ways to look at it.
Correct.
Okay. Then what I would like for you to do is you say, okay, the form is asking for all of this information, right? So, and there are tools where you can take a picture and it will digitize it for you. It's image to text, right? And you could literally upload that into your ChatGPT and say, the form is asking me all of this information.
OCR.
Can you give me a tabular format about why the system might be possibly asking for this information? What are the opportunities? Which ones are redundant and all that? You kind of ask that. Okay. Now, again, all I'm saying is that's ideation. It is not important to get a perfect answer, but it's important to just start off so you can very quickly ideate on it.
Correct.
Okay. Then the next step that you can say is, can you explain all the types of errors that might happen? If I have to digitize it, can you explain in a stepwise format how I would collect all of this information in an easy to use manner while reducing errors? Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but this was asked by ChatGPT, and I just updated this today itself, and it gave me the pros and cons of video KYC.
Right. Awesome.
This is again very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think these are the kinds of questions if you keep asking. But then what I'm looking for now is your workflow. Okay. You're trying to get ChatGPT to generate a workflow, the draft of your first workflow. Okay. Once you identify all the steps, for each of the steps, tell me what are the kinds of errors that can happen. Right. Tell me what. So now you've identified a whole list of things, and then you take it and you start ideating on top of it.
Got it.
Okay. So that way, how much time did it take for you to do this whole task?
Whole task as in from design, as in the assignment. It was ideally given 6 days until the sketches part, but then I went ahead and did an interactive wireframe. So I think overall 9 days or so.
It took 9 days, and per day, how much time did you spend?
3 to 4 hours.
Okay. So you spent about 40 hours doing this.
Yeah.
Correct? So you could have done this in a matter of about a day if you used your AI tool with you. Okay, that's about 8 hours.
When we talk about qualitative research, because asking AI would be again a secondary research, and it's not, we can't completely rely on it. Although I understand when you're saying that at least you can start from it, but to rely on that information, again, it would be dangerous because we don't know how latest the ideas what ChatGPT is giving is, and
And that's exactly the point, because what you're doing is to get, it's easier to take an idea and build on top of it than to come up with your first idea, right? A majority of the time that you probably, if you reflect back on those 9 days, the majority of your time was actually spent on doing your first draft, right? What you would do is, this is your first draft, and when you look at it, you will have a lot of questions. I don't know whether that is correct. Let me research that. I don't know if this is correct. Let me look into that. Well, I think this might be done in a better way, so let me ideate on that. So you are identifying potential starting points for your work at that place. Okay. So what took you the first 4 days, you've reduced it to under 40-50 minutes. Okay. Now the remaining 8 hours is where you're doing your research and you're updating it and kind of getting it to your perfect spot.